I've created a complete blueprint in Rocket League to rank up. No matter what rank you are, you could be silver, gold, grand champ, diamond, it does not matter. This works for every single rank, and this is going to be the most in-depth video I have ever made, so grab a bag of popcorn and enjoy. Let's dive into the heart of Rocket League, car control. No matter how good your Gamesense becomes, or how well you understand positioning, if you can't control your car precisely, you'll always be limited in what you can do on the field. Good car control isn't just about moving fast. It's about moving efficiently and accurately. You should be able to maneuver your car in any direction, adjust midair, recover quickly, and hit the ball with precision. Let's break down the essential mechanics that will form the foundation of your car control. The first one's going to be dribbling. Dribbling is one of the most important skills to master because when you dribble the ball, you're maintaining close control, which allows you to set up plays, fake out opponents, and even slow the game down when you need to. If you can dribble well, you can pretty much turn any game into one that you can control. Start by practicing ball control in free play. Drive slowly towards the ball and try to keep it on top of your car by making small, gentle adjustments. This will help you learn how to move the ball without losing control. A great way to practice dribbling is to use custom training packs, specifically designed for ball control. Start with really simple dribbles, then move on to turning with the ball and performing small flicks, and then gradually increase the difficulty as you become more comfortable. As you improve, you're going to need to work on dribbling under pressure. In higher ranks, opponents will be challenging you pretty much instantly, so you need to practice keeping the ball in your car while also looking and being aware for opportunities to flick or pass or being insta-challenged. Speaking of flicks, let's talk about that. A flick is when you use a quick movement to pop the ball off of your car and typically over a defender. It's a really good way to beat an opponent in a 1v1 situation. To practice flicks, start by dribbling the ball slowly. Once the ball is balanced on your car, perform a front flip or a side flip to launch it over an imaginary defender. Start with really basic flicks and then move on to more advanced techniques like the 45 flick. I actually have a complete flick tutorial I'll have in the description of this video if you guys want a complete breakdown on flicks alone. A good flick happens just as your opponent is about to challenge. If you flick too early, you give the defender a chance to react. If you flick too late, you're probably going to get challenged before you can even get the ball over the opponent. The key here is patience, and you need to wait until the defender commits before you flick the ball. Aerials are absolutely essential once you get to the higher ranks. At these levels, most of the game is played in the air, and the faster and more controlled you are, the more success you'll have. But it's not just about jumping and boosting, it's about learning to adjust and control your car while being in the air. You need to start with basic aerials in free play. Practice jumping and boosting towards the ball. But instead of just trying to hit it, focus on controlling your car's orientation. And what I mean by that is just use slight adjustments with your joystick to pretty much be as precise as you can. And what this will do is it will help you keep your car really aligned with the ball. And as you improve, begin incorporating air roll. Air roll really helps you be even more precise, especially with your position mid-air, allowing you to hit the ball more accurately, and you can also get more power. Start with basic air rolls, then try more complex things like continuously air rolling while aiming for the ball. Aerial control doesn't stop at hitting the ball though. You also need to master recoveries. After making an aerial play, you should be able to land smoothly on your wheels so that you can recover quickly so that you can get to the next position on the field. You can actually use flips from either flip resets or touching the ceiling or touching a wall. You can empty flip down to the ground to get there quicker. So that's something that I personally use a lot, and you can also use air roll to help you turn back on your wheels if you're upside down or if you're not completely straight. And this will help you get back to the ground quicker than you would normally. The faster you recover after an aerial, the quicker you can rotate back into position, making you more effective on both offense and defense. Try practicing aerial recoveries by jumping off of the walls or the ceilings in free play, and the more you practice landing smoothly and maintaining control, the quicker you'll be able to recover after a shot or even after a challenge. Shooting is one of those skills that can be improved. No matter what your rank is, at higher levels, players don't just shoot at the net. They shoot with precision and power, making it really difficult for the player in the goal to react. Good shooting is all about accuracy and placement. Practice shooting with both power and precision in free play or custom training packs. Focus on hitting the ball with the corners of your car to generate more power. I actually have a complete shooting tutorial. I'll have that in the description as well as the flick tutorial. When you're shooting, aim for the top corners or bottom corners of the net where it's harder for defenders to save. Work on shooting from awkward angles because in most games, you won't have perfect straight open nets, so you need to get comfortable shooting from the sides or really uncomfortable angles like coming off of a wall. Practice hitting the ball off of the wall and timing your shot for maximum accuracy. And a really common misconception is lower ranks thinking that shooting is just all about hitting it as hard as you can. Sometimes a well-placed shot is way more effective than a powerful one. Learning to mix up your shots like low, high, slow, fast will really keep defenders guessing and will increase your chances of scoring. And you can use training packs that focus on redirects and double touches. These are way more advanced shooting techniques, to be honest, but they allow you to hit the ball twice in midair and they give you more opportunities to score from difficult angles. Another key to shooting is reading the player in the goal. Before you shoot, take a look at the player in the goal's position. A high shot might go over them. If they're hugging the goal line, a low bouncing shot could easily go behind them. Now that we understand shooting at a basic level, let's move on to positioning and rotation. Rocket League is a really fast-paced, chaotic game, and knowing where to be and when to rotate can often make the difference between winning and losing. You could have the best mechanics in the world, but without good positioning, you'll be out of place and frankly ineffective. Good rotation is essential in Rocket League, especially in 2v2 and 3v3 because there's really no such thing as rotating in 1v1, but in 2v2 and 3v3, it's all about keeping your team balanced. If one player's attacking, another should be supporting, and the third should be ready to defend. The key is constant movement and communication. Always be thinking about your role in the rotation. If you've just taken a shot, rotate back and let your teammates move forward. Don't stay too close to the play or chase the ball after your shot. Just rotate to a position where you can support from a distance or defend if needed. When rotating back on defense, always cover the back post. This positioning allows you to cover more angles and gives you a better chance to make a save. By rotating to the back post, you avoid cutting across the goal, which could block your teammates, or it could even put you in a bad position to try to make a save. One of the most important aspects of rotation is recovery, like we mentioned earlier. After making a play, you need to recover quickly, so you're going to have to use these things that we talked about earlier, but you're also going to want to incorporate things like half flips and wave dashes. Mastering half flips will allow you to turn around really quickly, especially when you find yourself facing the wrong way after a play. A half flip involves flipping backwards and then canceling the flip midway through, letting you land face forward. Learn to use wave dashes to maintain speed without burning through your boost. A wave dash is when you jump and flip into the ground at a little bit of an angle, giving you extra momentum without needing to use any boost. This is especially helpful for rotating back quickly after a challenge. Good positioning means being in the right place at the right time. If you're too far forward or too far back, you'll either miss an opportunity or leave your goal open. Effective positioning allows you to be a threat on offense while still being ready to defend if needed. On defense, don't rush out to challenge the ball right away. Sometimes it's better to hold your position and force the opponent to make the first move. This is called shadow defense. You stay between the ball and your goal, and what you're doing is you're waiting for the opponent to commit, which allows you to react and make a more effective challenge. On offense, always be thinking about how you can support the play. If your teammate is dribbling, position yourself where you can either receive a pass or you can follow up if they lose possession. Avoid crowding the ball or pushing too far forward, as this will leave you vulnerable to counterattacks. Positioning also applies to midfield play. Staying in the midfield area allows you to intercept clears from the opponent, and you can also keep pressure on their goal at the same time. It gives you a quick route to rotate back if needed. And if you're in the midfield, always be ready to either challenge the ball or rotate back to defense. If your teammates are attacking, position yourself near the center of the field to cut off any clear attempts by the opponent. If your team loses possession, rotate back immediately to cover the goal. Good positioning and rotation takes a lot of time to develop, but they are the keys to consistent gameplay. If you master these, you'll find that your team's defense improves and you'll create more offensive opportunities for yourself. Lastly, let's talk about boost management. Boost is one of the most valuable resources in Rocket League, and how you manage it can be a huge difference in your effectiveness on the field. A lot of players, especially in lower ranks, waste boost by using it at the wrong times or going out of position just to grab the big boosts. One of the most common mistakes is relying too much on the large 100 boost pad. While these pads are great for topping off your boost, chasing them at the wrong time can take you out of the play and leave your goal wide open. Focus on collecting small boost pads. Each one gives you 12 boosts, and they're scattered all over the field, allowing you to stay in the play while keeping your boost levels high. Grabbing small pads while rotating will ensure you always have enough boost to challenge or recover without leaving your teammate vulnerable. Pay attention to your opponent's boost levels too. This is a little bit more difficult, but if you notice that they're low on boost, challenge them more aggressively, because they'll be less likely to make an effective play, and you'll be more likely to make an effective play, and you'll also have a better chance of winning the next possession. Another important aspect of boost management is knowing when to conserve your boost. A lot of players make the mistake of holding down the boost button constantly, which leads to running out at crucial moments. Use boost sparingly and rely on your car's natural speed for most of your movement. You don't need to hold down the boost button just to get around the field. Instead, try using short bursts of boost to adjust your positioning, and it will also save the rest of the boost you need for challenges, aerials, and recoveries. Practice using wave dashes and flip resets to conserve boosts. These techniques allow you to move quickly around the field without burning through your boost reserves, which can be a complete game changer when you're low on boost. And mastering boost management will give you a huge advantage in both offense and defense. You'll be able to stay in the play for longer, and you'll be able to make more effective challenges, and you'll be able to recover more quickly and efficiently after making a save or a shot. So that's it for level 1. That's just the fundamentals, the essentials, card control, positioning, and rotation, and boost management. Let's get into level 2 now. All right, we have finished level 1, the fundamentals. Now on to level 2. This is going to be slightly more difficult, but it's the Gamesense. This is the mental side of Rocket League, where you learn to read the game, make smart decisions, and just understand what's happening on the field at all times. Let's start with decision making, one of the most important aspects of Gamesense. Every moment in Rocket League, you're making choices: when to challenge, when to rotate, when to shoot, when to pass. As you improve, your ability to make the right decision at the right time will completely separate you from other players. When you're attacking, you need to make smart decisions that will keep pressure on the opponent while giving you the best chance to score. So you need to learn to recognize when it's a good time to challenge the ball and when to back off. If you're not in the best position to hit the ball, 9 times out of 10, it's better to rotate back and let a teammate challenge. Being aggressive at the wrong time can leave you and your team vulnerable to counterattacks. When you're deciding to shoot, ask yourself, is this a high percentage shot, or am I just hitting the ball because I can? Shooting when there's a low chance of scoring can often waste a good opportunity. The only caveat to this situation is if you're shooting to make the opponent's position worse. So if you're shooting a high shot that's maybe off target that they're going to jump for, or just making them panic. But aside from that, if you give the ball back to the opponent easily, it's a mistake 10 out of 10 times. Part of offensive decision making also involves knowing when to pass. In lower ranks, players tend to take shots no matter what. And even when a teammate is in a better position, they decide to shoot. So to combat this, you need to be more aware of your teammates' positions. If you see a teammate rotating into a better spot to shoot or challenge, pass the ball to them instead of forcing a bad shot. Passing creates opportunities for quick, unexpected plays that opponents will struggle to defend against. Don't be afraid to slow the game down on offense. If your teammates aren't ready or the opponents are well positioned defensively, it's okay to control the ball and reset the attack. Keeping possession is often better than throwing the ball away with a rushed shot. Decision making on defense is just as important if offense, if not more. So, because poor decisions often lead directly to goals against you, you need to be thinking about your challenges on defense. Don't rush challenges. When you're defending, you don't need to dive in and challenge the ball immediately. Sometimes the best option is to back off, shadow defend, and then force them to make a play. By giving yourself more time to react, you'll make better, more controlled challenges. Always be thinking about positioning on defense. When rotating back, cover the back post, and when challenging, make sure your teammates are in position to rotate behind you. If you're unsure of your teammates' positioning, it's better to play more conservatively until you're confident in your defensive setup. A really common mistake in defense is overcommitting when trying to make a save. If you miss the ball or you leave your goal open, it's an easy goal for the opponent. Instead, focus on positioning yourself to cover the angles and staying patient for the right moment to challenge. Now we're going to go into reading the play. Reading the play is one of the most advanced parts of Gamesense because you're trying to predict what's going on. And it's something that sets high-level players apart from the rest because obviously predicting what people are doing is very difficult. Part of reading the play is learning to anticipate what your opponents are going to do. The more you play, the better you'll get at recognizing certain patterns and behaviors from players. But to get good at this quickly, you need to pay attention to your opponent's body language. If you see them moving towards the ball in a certain way, you can often anticipate whether they're going for a pass, shot, or clear. For example, a player lining up for a direct hit on the ball is probably going for a clear, whereas a slower approach might be indicative that they're going for a dribble or an air dribble or a soft touch or a pass. So when you learn to recognize this, then we can move on to recognizing the boost levels of your opponent. If you see players struggling to reach the ball or they're moving more slowly, 9 times out of 10 they're low on boost, and this is a great time to apply pressure and force them into a mistake. Reading the play isn't just about what the opponent is doing. It's also about how the game is flowing and positioning yourself accordingly. Rocket League is a fast-paced game and every second counts, so your positioning needs to adapt based on what's happening on the field. On offense, stay one step ahead of the play. If your teammate is going for a shot or a pass, position yourself where the ball is likely to go next, rather than chasing the ball after it's hit. This allows you to react quickly and keep the pressure on the opponent. On defense, position yourself to cut off passing lanes and force your opponents into less dangerous positions like your corners. If you can predict where your opponent is going to pass, you can block it before they even make the play. One of the best ways to improve your ability to read the play is by watching high-level gameplay. Study how top players move around the field, how they position themselves, and how they anticipate their opponent's moves. This will give you valuable insights into how you should be thinking during your own matches. Timing your challenges is crucial to winning 50-50s, maintaining pressure, and preventing goals. Poorly timed challenges often lead to overcommitting or maybe getting caught out of position, while smart, well-timed challenges can turn the tide of the game completely in your favor. Knowing when to challenge the ball is all about reading the situation and understanding when you're in a position to win the challenge versus when you probably are not going to win a challenge and you should hold back. If you're the closest player to the ball, it's usually your job to challenge. But before you dive in, consider your opponent's positioning. Are they likely to beat you to the ball? If so, it might be better to rotate back and let a teammate challenge instead. Overcommitting when you're likely to lose a challenge can leave your team completely exposed. A huge tip is learning how to shadow defend really well. This is when you stay in front of the attacker without directly challenging the ball. I went over this briefly in level 1, But at a deeper level, shadow defense forces your opponent to make the first move if you're doing this correctly. And this will give you more time to react and either block their shot or force a bad play. Not all challenges are created equal. Sometimes challenging a 50-50 ball aggressively is the right move, but 9 times out of 10, positioning yourself to block the next play is more important. Prioritize high-value challenges. These are challenges that are likely to lead to possession for your team or even prevent a dangerous shot from the opponent. If challenging the ball is going to put you out of position or give the ball right back to the opponent, it might be better to rotate back. If you're on defense and your team is scrambling to recover, don't challenge unless you're certain you can win. Instead, focus on covering the goal and blocking passing lanes until your teammates can get back into position. Good challenge prioritization is often the difference between maintaining pressure and getting scored on. The more you focus on making smart challenges and staying patient, the more success you'll have in controlling the flow of the game. Finally, let's talk about awareness and communication. Good game sense isn't just about what you're doing individually, it's about how you interact with your teammates and how aware you are of everything happening on the field. Field awareness means being aware of more than just the ball. You need to know where your teammates are, where your opponents are, and where the ball is likely to go next. Constantly check your surroundings. Don't just focus on the ball, take quick looks around to see where your teammates and opponents are positioned. This will help you make better decisions about whether to challenge, pass, or rotate. And also use the camera swivel feature to check behind you while moving. This allows you to keep track of your teammates and opponents without losing sight of the ball. Also, developing good awareness takes time and practice. It's not like you're gonna finish this video and automatically have the best awareness in the world, but the more you focus on checking your surroundings and thinking ahead, the better your positioning and decision making will become. Communication is key to good game sense, especially in 3v3. Whether you're using quick chat commands or voice communication, keeping your teammates informed about what's happening is crucial for coordinating rotations and challenges. Use quick chats like "I got it" or "defending" and "take the shot." Don't do this sarcastically though. If your teammate whiffs, don't say "what a save" or "take the shot." To give your teammates clear signals about your intentions, only do this when you're actually being serious. Otherwise, this could create confusion, and it just helps everyone stay on the same page. You don't really need this once you get to the higher ranks because everyone kind of knows when to rotate. But in ranks bronze through, I'd say champ, you should probably be doing this. In voice chat, keep your communication short and focused. You don't need to talk constantly, but quick updates like "I'm rotating back" or "I'm in position" or "I'm open for a pass" can actually make a big difference in keeping your team organized. A lot of the time, people will overcrowd a Discord call or voice chat commands with every single thing. You can be short and concise. One of the best ways to improve your game sense is by learning from your mistakes. After each game, take a few minutes to analyze what went wrong and what you could have done better. Over time, this reflection will help you make better decisions in future games. Use replay analysis to break down your games. Watch your matches and pay attention to moments where you made poor decisions or you got out of position. Ask yourself what you could have done differently and how that would have affected the outcome. Pay particular attention to times when you overcommitted or challenged the ball at the wrong time. Were you too aggressive? Did you misread your opponent's move? These are the moments where you can make the biggest improvements in your game sense. And learning from mistakes isn't just about pointing out what went wrong, it's about actively changing your behavior in future games. The more you analyze and adapt, the faster you'll see improvement in your game sense. So that wraps up level 2, game sense. We covered decision making, reading the play, timing your challenges, and the importance of awareness and communication. Okay, we have covered the first 2 major levels, now the last and final level, level 3. This one is completely about mentality and mindset, and there's a little bit of, mindset and game sense, but This is completely mindset and mentality, which is, in my opinion, more important than both of the other two levels. So this level isn't just about how you play Rocket League mechanically, but it's about how you approach the game mentally. Reaching higher ranks, specifically SSL, requires way more than just mechanics. You need a solid mentality to push through tough losses, to maintain consistency, and to handle pressure, and to stay motivated through the grind. So let's start with section 1, bringing a strong competitive mindset. Achieving long-term success in Rocket League is similar to achieving this in anything. But in Rocket League, this starts with a strong competitive mindset. You're going to encounter setbacks, you're going to have tough losses, and as frustrating as it is when you lose, understanding this frustration and improving on your mistakes is how you actually climb the ranks. How you respond to these challenges is what separates average players from the great ones. The first step in building a strong mindset is setting clear, realistic goals. It's easy to get caught up in the dream of reaching top 10, but if you don't break that goal into smaller, manageable steps, you can quickly become overwhelmed or discouraged. Instead of setting vague goals like, I want to hit SSL, focus on incremental objectives. For example, if you're currently Diamond 2, set a goal to hit Champion first. Once you achieve that, set the next milestone as Champion 2 or Champion 3. These smaller goals help maintain motivation, and they also give you a sense of accomplishment throughout the journey. Focus on performance-based goals rather than rank-based ones. Instead of making your goal to win a certain number of games, aim to improve specific aspects of your gameplay, like making fewer defensive mistakes or hitting more accurate aerials. This keeps the pressure off, and it allows you to focus on improving rather than just grinding for wins. Setting goals like this prevents you from getting discouraged when you hit a rough patch in your rank progression. It also helps shift your mindset from I need to win to I need to improve, which leads to long-term success. Another essential component of a strong competitive mindset is having a growth mindset. This means believing that your skills and abilities can improve over time with practice and effort, rather than thinking your talents are fixed. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Every loss, mistake, or bad game is a chance to learn something new. Instead of getting frustrated when things don't go your way, take a moment to analyze what went wrong and what you could have done differently. Challenge yourself regularly. Don't stick to the same comfortable playstyle or skill level. Push yourself to improve and take on harder tasks. This could mean practicing difficult mechanics, playing against better opponents, or even entering tournaments where the pressure is higher. A growth mindset is crucial because it helps you see challenges as opportunities for improvement rather than something to fear or avoid. It keeps you moving forward even when you face setbacks. As you start approaching higher ranks like Grand Champ or even SSL, the mental aspect of the game becomes even more important. The players you face at these levels are not just mechanically skilled, but they're also insanely mentally tough. How strong do you think the mentality of someone is who plays in RLCS? Before jumping into ranked matches, take a moment to mentally prepare yourself. And this might sound pretty silly, but remind yourself that the goal is to improve and not to win every single match. This takes some of the pressure off, and this allows you to play more freely and confidently. Visualize difficult in-game scenarios before playing. Imagine yourself facing a high-pressure situation, like a last-second save or a crucial overtime goal, and mentally walk through how you would handle it. This mental rehearsal helps reduce anxiety and improves your ability to perform under pressure. By taking the time to mentally prepare, you set yourself up for success before you even hit the field. It's all about going into the game with the right mindset, ready to handle whatever comes your way. Losses and setbacks are inevitable in Rocket League. Even top-level players go through losing streaks and slumps, but the difference between those who keep progressing and those who are stagnant is how they handle those tough moments. Tilt happens when frustration or anger from a game starts to affect your performance. It's one of the most common obstacles for players trying to rank up. Once you're tilted, you make impulsive decisions, you overcommit, and you let your emotions control your gameplay. Recognize when you're starting to tilt. The first step to avoiding tilt is being aware of it. If you notice yourself getting frustrated after a goal or making a few mistakes, pause for a second and just breathe. Acknowledge that you're tilting and actively choose to stay calm. Implement a reset routine between games. After a tough loss, take a moment to mentally reset before queuing for the next match. This could be a quick walk. It could be something as simple as just doing some breathing exercises, or even a few minutes in free play. The goal is just to clear your mind and just let go of any negative emotions from the previous game. One bad game doesn't have to turn into a bad session. Recognizing when tilt is setting in and actively resetting your mentality helps prevent one loss from turning into a losing streak. Every loss has something to teach you, even if it feels like a game was out of your control. By analyzing your losses, you can turn them into opportunities for growth. After a loss, review the key moments that led to goals against you. Did you overcommit? Did you miss a key rotation? Were you out of position for a save? Identifying patterns in your mistakes allows you to correct them in future games. Don't get too fixated on blaming teammates, even when they make obvious mistakes. Blaming others, it prevents you from focusing on your own performance. Instead, just ask yourself, what could I have done better to help my team? Often, there are small things you can do to make a difference, even when your teammates are struggling. Losses aren't just something to endure, they're a critical part of your improvement process. By learning from every loss, you turn negative experiences into positive ones. In terms of slumps, everyone goes through slumps, whether it's when you feel like you just can't win a game no matter what. These streaks can be very demoralizing, but it's important to approach them with the right mindset. After a string of losses, just take a break. Don't keep forcing yourself to play if you're feeling frustrated or burnt out. A short break can give you the mental clarity you need to come back refreshed and ready to play smarter. When coming out of a slump, focus on small victories. Instead of focusing on winning, shift your mindset to improving one aspect of your game at a time, whether it's making better challenges, improving rotations, or hitting more accurate shots. These small victories build momentum and help you regain confidence. Slumps are temporary, but they feel longer when you get stuck in a negative mindset. By focusing on learning and incremental improvements, you can push through slumps way faster. Inconsistent performance is a common challenge for Rocket League players at every level. Some days you're hitting every shot, rotating perfectly, whereas other days nothing seems to go right. The key to climbing the ranks is developing consistent performance, so your good games outweigh your bad ones. A big part of developing consistency is establishing a pre-game routine that gets you into the right mindset and warms up your mechanics. I do have a complete warm-up routine I'll have in the description of this video if you guys want to check that out, but you need to be spending at least 10 to 15 minutes in free play before jumping into ranked games. Work on basic mechanics like dribbling, flicks, shooting to ensure that your muscle memory is sharp. This helps prevent those off games where your mechanics feel really sloppy right from the start. Try using custom training packs to warm up your shooting, defense, and positioning by practicing different scenarios before jumping into competitive games. And when you do this, you'll be way more prepared to handle pretty much whatever comes your way. Establishing a routine not only warms up your mechanics, but it also helps you get into the right mental state to play at your best. One of the biggest causes of inconsistency is losing focus. Whether you're thinking about the score, a previous mistake, or the outcome of this match, distractions take you out of the moment and lead to poor decision making. Practice mindfulness by focusing on one play at a time. Don't get caught up in thinking about a mistake you made earlier or whether you're winning or losing. Stay present in the moment and focus on making the best play you can right now. When you find yourself losing focus, ask yourselves questions like, where should I be positioned? Or what's the smartest move in this situation? This keeps your brain engaged and it helps prevent careless mistakes. Consistency isn't about playing perfectly every game, it's about maintaining focus and staying mentally sharp even when the game isn't going your way. As you climb the ranks, especially when you're nearing promotions or playing in tournaments, the pressure starts to mount. Being able to perform under pressure is what separates the top players from the rest. Promotion games and high-stake matches often come with added pressure, leading to anxiety and nervousness. Learning to stay calm in these situations is critical for success. Treat promotion games like any other game, and I know that's way easier said than done, but if you place too much importance on a single game of Rocket League, you'll feel way more pressure and you're more likely to lose just because of that without even actually playing the game. Remind yourself that it's just one game in a long series of matches, and even if you lose, you'll have plenty of other chances to rank up. Take deep breaths before and during high pressure moments. This simple technique helps calm your nerves, reduces anxiety, and allows you to focus on the task at hand. Don't let the pressure of ranking up get to you. By staying calm and treating every game equally, you'll perform more consistently in promotion matches. In tournaments or high-level ranked play, the pressure is even higher, and the ability to stay calm and composed is a huge asset. Practice playing in competitive environments like joining community tournaments or scrimming against higher ranked teams. The more you expose yourself to these high pressure situations, the more comfortable you'll become at handling the stress. In moments like these, focus on your breathing and remind yourselves of your strengths and then play with those strengths. Positive self-talk can actually go a long way in helping you stay confident under pressure instead of thinking, I can't mess this up. Say I've got this. I've practiced for this moment. The journey to SSL is long and demanding, and it's easy to burn out or lose motivation along the way. Maintaining a positive mindset and finding ways to stay motivated are key to reaching your goals. It's important to strike a balance between practicing to improve and simply enjoying the game too. Too much focus on improvement can lead to burnout, while playing without a purpose can slow your progress, so you need to find kind of a middle ground. Incorporate both serious practice sessions and fun casual games into your routine. Play custom training packs or 1v1 matches to work on specific skills, but also give yourself time to play casual games where you can relax and actually enjoy the game without any pressure. Take breaks when you feel mentally fatigued. Rocket League is a very demanding game, and pushing yourself too hard will lead to a burnout. A short break can help you recharge and come back with a new, fresh perspective. So the climb to SSL is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to get there tomorrow. It's really easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow, but staying positive and enjoying the process is key to long-term success. Surround yourself with a supportive community, my Discord server, of players who encourage you to keep improving, whether it's friends you play with regularly or online communities. Having positive influences can help you stay motivated when things get tough. Reflect on how far you've come. Progress in Rocket League can feel really slow, but when you take a moment to look back at where you started and compare it to where you are now, you'll realize how much you've improved, and this helps keep your motivation high and your perspective positive. That's it for all of the 3 major levels. This is the complete blueprint in Rocket League. I hope you guys found this video at least somewhat helpful. Make sure to join my Discord server. I'll have this in the description of this video. It's the best way to contact me. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.